Hi, in today's Ask Me Anything About Summer Camp, I'm going to be talking about summer camp packing tips. This is specifically for parents who are packing or helping your children pack for overnight summer camp. So, just some pretty simple tips, but might help relieve some of the stress and maybe some of the stuff you can do ahead of time to make it easier when it's time to leave for camp. The very first tip, and this probably is fairly obvious, is to make sure you have your summer camp's packing list. Summer camps put a lot of effort into making sure their list is really accurate and has exactly what kids need to have at the program to fit the climate, the activities, and everything else that they're doing at the camp. So be sure to get your camp's packing list. Usually it's either sent to you or you can download it from their website. On that list, there also will probably be some things listed that your child's not supposed to bring to camp. So look at that part of the list too, to make sure that you pack appropriately. So I really love packing lists. If it comes digitally, I recommend printing it out. And that goes along with my next tip because I think this is really important. Tip number 2 is to have your camper do most of the packing work. And I know this sounds a little crazy because you're probably better at packing than your child is, but what a great start to the independence and responsibility of summer camp. It is to have your camper help pack for camp. So if you print out the clothing list and the packing list for your camper, they can actually lay out all the clothes and items that they want to bring, check them off the list, and then you can just double check, look at what they have laid out and approve them. A side note is I would say that most camps recommend packing older clothes that don't require any special laundering or care. If your camp does do laundry, likely it's going to be not a fancy dry cleaner. So I would suggest packing kind of your oldest clothes. Oftentimes, the jeans that are getting a little too short are perfect for camp. Your camper might be rock climbing or horseback riding or doing like active outdoor activities where they might get holes in their clothes anyway. So camp is the great place to kind of dispose of or use one last time some of those clothes that aren't probably going to work for school next year. So when I say about having your camper do most of the work of packing, one of the reasons for this is when kids get to camp, you won't be there with them. And so if you have, specifically packed some, underwear in a special packet that's kind of in the bottom right of their bag, they might not know where to locate that. So sometimes kids get to camp and they think they don't have something like a towel or a bathing suit or something like that. And it's because they didn't pack it. So at the very least, if your child's younger and you need to help them, that's great, but have them there with you as you're putting stuff in their bag so they see their towel, their bathing suit, other items that you've packed for them. They can also help with their toiletry kit and anything else like that. I do think kids really enjoy being part of the process of packing and preparing for camp. And if you get them into the habit early, they'll always do that task, especially as they get older. Tip number 3 for summer camp packing tips is to label absolutely everything. And I mean it. I've seen everything from toothbrushes and chapsticks labeled either with a Sharpie or a label. They now have iron-on labels or actually stick-on labels. A lot of people just use a Sharpie pen to label things. But even things like your child's sunscreen bottle, it's great if it's labeled because those things can be left around, left in the bathroom at camp or left in some area. And if it has your camper's name on it, it's more likely that they will recognize it in the lost and found, or someone can return it to them. I'd say, this is helpful, I would say too, to have all your outerwear. Kids should just have it labeled all year because they leave things at school as well. But definitely for summer camp, please label everything. It's really important. And oftentimes kids can't tell the difference between their shirt and a friend's shirt. And so when they're packing to go home, it's helpful for the counselors and the kids to have things labeled so they know for sure which items belong to which camper. Another tip that I like, tip number 4, is just to think about the way that you're packing for camp. I kind of think for most kids, it's more helpful to pack by outfit rather than by category of clothing. So what I mean by this is, if the typical thing that the camper's going to wear every day is a pair of shorts, a t-shirt, underwear, and socks, then go ahead and roll up that outfit, a t-shirt with shorts, socks, and underwear, roll it up. We call it a little burrito of clothes, and have that roll in your camper's luggage. So they can actually have several. If they're at camp for a week, they might have 6 of those. If they're at camp longer or there's laundry, it depends whatever the packing list says they need to bring. But rolling outfits is a really great way to help your camper stay organized and be able to just reach in and pull out a clean outfit and not have to dig around to the bottom to find the stack of clean t-shirts or whatever else they might be looking for. Some parents also use the really large Ziploc style bags to keep outfits in. That's also okay. It might be a good idea also to have something in there for like wet bathing suits or wet clothes in case they're, traveling home with that. So maybe at least have a Ziploc or plastic bag in there for items like that. Finally, the final packing tip that I have is to think about some little extras that you might include that maybe aren't on the packing list, but would provide just some comfort for your camper. Some people like to pack their, a stuffed animal or a special blanket that's a comfort item for sleeping. Other parents, I've seen them make really cute little like photo albums that just have, maybe the family pet and different family members and friends, so that as your camper makes new friends or gets to know their counselor, they can share with their camp friends things about their life at home. So a little photo album is great. For sure, include some kind of letter writing materials. Usually this will be on your the packing list, but if it's not, include possibly some pre-addressed postcards that'll be really simple for your camper to just jot you a quick note. You can make sure it already has a stamp on it so that it's completely ready to go, and it'll make it more likely that your camper will find just a few minutes to write to you while they're at camp. I think camp is a great opportunity for kids to read more. At a lot of camps have some downtime where kids have a chance to read. So if they have a book that they're reading, either for school or for fun, pack that to go to camp. A lot of camps don't allow e-readers or kind of electronic devices. So you might want to just make sure that your camper has at least one old-fashioned book to bring to camp. And then I also just like the idea of if you have a chance to just write down a quick note, you could kind of hide it in their luggage, and you could just say some encouraging words like, "I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to hear about all the fun things you're doing at camp." So that's a fun thing to also include in your camper's luggage for camp. So those are my just 5 summer camp packing tips. I hope you find them helpful. If you have any questions about summer camp as you prepare your child to go, I'd love for you to either send me a message or comment on one of these videos, and I'd love to answer your question. And if you're still thinking about camp for the summer and looking for some great programs, I have interviews with a whole bunch of fabulous day and resident camp programs available both on Facebook and on my website. You can look for the Happy Campers interviews at sunshine-parenting.com. And I'll be here weekly at 1 p.m. talking about just questions about summer camp as we lead up to the summer and also during the summer. So I hope you'll continue to join me and share your questions with me as they come up about summer camp. Thanks for joining.